Hello, hello. So, first things first. I'm part of the Sophon team. Hands up, who knows what Sophon is? At least in the crypto space, not the three-body problem Sophon. All right, so let me just tell you, Sophon is a ZK stack layer 2 that is fully entertainment focused. And yes, we are trying to gap the broken UX and really get crypto to consumers. Now, for today, I'm going to talk about modular smart accounts because, in my belief, at least, this is basically the bottleneck about like why crypto is not really usable by my grandma, by my family, by everybody that is actually going to benefit from it. Walkthrough on capabilities about like Sophon account and how we implement smart accounts, and then demos and a little bit of Q&A. So the problem that we have here, right? There is a lot of friction. Wallet setups are bad. Seed phrases are simply something that is too complex for real users to adopt and really to manage. Gas, paying for transactions is usually not something that somebody can actually do when they are onboarded to a chain. And yeah, this is causing all sorts of user dropouts. In most cases, I've been a pretty avid fan of trying out different layer 1s and layer 2s just because of the sake of seeing a lot of good tech and a lot of purpose-built tech. 99% of the cases, the first use is the last use that I do. And that's pretty normal for anything that touches new technology, right? Now, the real-world impact of this is that, yeah, wallets are abandoned, there are low retention rates. You can click and scan through a lot of scanners, a lot of explorers. There are millions and millions of wallets, especially smart wallets, that are using smart accounts at the back, that have either some sort of like dust left behind them, couple of dollars, that actually count up to a pretty big sum because users just forget them there. It's there, it's lost probably forever, but it's there. And then smart accounts aim to fix this. Then, of course, for the building blocks, the main real utility of this is that from the point of we want to go from clicking and really approving all sorts of transactions, we want to go to a walletless user experience, right? Using biometric logins, temporary sessions, passkeys, using your Face ID, using everything that the Web2 world and the used like social logins, whatever that we have, just people getting used to it, right? And you have a smooth onboarding for it. Then, of course, you have the ERC 7579 standard for modular smart accounts that define on-chain structure, different sorts of flavors of limits, enhanced security, so on and so forth. And then, of course, EIP 6963 compliant and also 1119 compliance, meaning that all of these smart accounts that I'm going to talk about are super easily discoverable and used in your own wallet kit, like Reown, X, Wallet Connect, Rainbow Kit, Connect Kit, so on and so forth. Now, how is this done? Here, what you can see is basically the 3 building blocks of modular smart account modules. You have the validator module that is encompassing everything that is basically managing signers. Then you have the transactional modules that handle all sorts of flavors that you can use as a dApp developer to ease your users' onboarding. And then you have recovery modules, basically the ones that are going to help you out and your users help out to not lose access to their smart accounts. Right, let me quickly go back here because I feel like these slides are a bit outdated. So let me improvise a bit and think about how should we solve that. Now, when it comes to validator modules, these are the ones that you need to use when you implement smart accounts to actually enable login with Google, login with Apple, login with all the other real use cases that basically our fathers and grandparents are used to. You're going to Facebook, log in with email. You're going to some other application, log in with Google. Now, for accounts, I'm not entirely sure how many of you are really using that. It's going to be a step forward. Now it's getting implemented in a lot of places, but it's still not it, right? We are looking into making that a standard and not rely on storing your seed phrases, splitting them into trees so that it's not really like discoverable by somebody that is like physically there where your seed phrases are. Exporting and importing private keys that is basically like 99%, the cause of the 99% of the exploits. And then, of course, probably the most important thing is that when it comes to validator modules, for modular smart accounts, you can deploy a smart account with your EOA signer, meaning that you have a MetaMask wallet, you have a Rabbi wallet. You can basically create a smart account with it, and that smart account is able to do anything that MetaMask account is able to do without any problems. And of course, with all these things. Now, on the transactional module, this is probably my favorite utility that smart accounts bring. It's super, super important to consider frictionless user experience, especially when it comes to long tenuring user experiences. Take into consideration games, for example. A very, very, very good case study, at least for the beginning of this, is Hyperliquid. Does anybody know how Hyperliquid actually implements signer-less trading here? Let me tell you that they actually developed their own purpose-built layer 1 for that. So what does that mean is that when you're going on Hyperliquid, you're signing a message meaning that you are providing access to all your funds and all your actions to the connected account to the Hyperliquid layer 1, and it is able to use that access for their trading engine to do trades on your behalf. It's not your wallet that is actually doing those trades at the back of it. Your wallet is practically just providing a permit to their trading engine to do that on your behalf. Now, the biggest problem and why I'm saying is that this is the first very good pilot is that they are positioning themselves in between a centralized exchange and a decentralized exchange, providing the user experience of a centralized exchange while still keeping things somewhat on the blockchain. Now, the big caveat here is that you're providing basically full access to whatever you have when you're connecting there or when you're bridging there. And I think that's unwarranted. I'm personally not using it because I'm not okay with providing full access to my account anywhere I go. So that's where session keys are super, super helpful. When you're using modular smart accounts, you have a bunch of utilities and a bunch of very granular access rights that you can provide to users when you're actually creating a session key for them. Meaning that you can specify how much gas that session key can use for that user. This is very, very useful, for example, if you're trading on a high-frequency platform, and you know that, for example, that might generate trades on your behalf on gas spikes. So this could practically drain your account for your native token, your ETH or whatever. Now, if you're specifying a specific upper limit, then you're somewhat defending against it because you're setting the maximum amount that you feel okay to be sold, so that your profits are still fine. And it's like the moment that amount is used, you're basically done. The session key cannot do anything anymore. Therefore, the automated account is not doing anything afterwards. The session key is consumed, and that's it. Besides that, the other very important factor is that you can specify who has execution right to use the session key, what wallet address, And besides that, what smart contract can it call and what specific function? And with what parameters? So I like to explain and to talk about examples because people can relate a bit more to them. Let's say that you're staking on Lido, for example. And obviously you want your maximum returns. And for that, obviously they have auto compounding built into the protocol, but what if they wouldn't have? So with a session key, without writing any sort of specific logic inside, you could actually trigger on your application the access right for an underlying account to trigger only the claiming of your fees and your rewards and the auto compounding feature on the smart account. So that would mean that this session key that you actually approve when you go to Lido with your smart account can do only these two things. And it's automated. From there, Lido takes over, and it's super cool, super right. That's the only thing that they can do. And this way, basically, Lido's only thing that they need to do is handle the backend flow of calling these two functions. No need for specific smart account logic, no need for like very complicated and very secure implementation. And all of this is done by simply, just providing good design on smart accounts. Now on the recovery modules, I think this is where the game is really going to change when it comes to account management. We have two modules that are going to be basically super, super useful. The social recovery module is enabling you to register a social login or a passkey to trigger a recovery flow where another email or Google account or whatever can actually become the new signer of your account. This is super useful if, for example, you have your passkey that that you created on a MacBook that just got spilled, right? You spilled some coffee on it, it's unrecoverable. So from that moment on, basically your smart account would be gone if you wouldn't have a recovery module or some other signer associated with it. Now with the social recovery module, anybody could just trigger this recovery and that's it. On the Guardian blocker module, this is probably when it comes to Sophon, our most beloved module itself, because we've been using it for proof of concepts for a lot. When it comes to unrecognized access and exploitation patterns, we have there are a lot of protocols that can pretty much flag from the get-go if there is a suspicious access to your account, right? But what do you do about it? Practically, if it's automated, you as an end user for your mundane wallet, you just can't do anything about it because they are always going to front run you. That's it. Like you lost access, somebody got access to it. That's it. That's end of the game there. But with Guardian blocker modules, smart accounts are actually bulletproof for this because you can give an EOA a specific right to actually close up the smart account and basically transfer all the funds to a trusted wallet address. So whenever there is, for example, a protocol that is monitoring your smart account for unwanted access, you can just trigger a blocker module, send all your funds out, and that way the hacker is not getting anything. So it's super, super cool. I feel like smart accounts are going to change a lot about how we are going to develop decentralized applications or dApps before. Right now, the biggest blocker, as I see, is the friction of how we interact with blockchain is caused by the wallets are unwilling to create the interface that is useful for users to actually encompass all this complexity inside. Decentralized applications shouldn't build and really implement all of this themselves. It should be one modular implementation that can be plug and played into any EVM chain, because this is specifically EVM, from the get-go, and then dApps can really use it from the start. I have a little video here. So this is an example of Little Billy, our mascot at Sophon, providing you a Sophon account experience to connect with social accounts and with EOA wallets. This is from Sophon Home. Quite different than what you're expecting with MetaMask, right? And then the thing is that the work doesn't stop here. Accounts themselves are just one of the building blocks for user experience. We at Sophon are basically providing the whole toolkit for decentralized applications and users to have the best experience possible on chain. From Home being the main hub of finding out what's happening and actually interacting with the blockchain, to Account being the gateway to it, and then Sophon Plus being the API and the incentivization mechanism to actually retain users. All right. And I think that's pretty much it because I'm running out of time. These are the account URLs and the contract repos that basically hold the magic. Please check them out. And that was it from me. I'm really hoping to see you soon on Sophon.
Thank you so much, Elod. And smoother UI makes it easier for us all, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Of course. Well, the thing is, yeah, I have my own Google Drive, so everything is connected through all my devices. So I know, like, if my computer goes away, it's still gonna be alive. So, do you have any questions today from the audience, or if we can still scan the QR code and go in and ask a question? You made it too easy for people.
It's supposed to be a beginner type, right?
Oh, I see.
So the goal here was to actually define the paradigm and then make sure that everybody follows it.
So I was a little bit interested about the thing that you said, if somebody broke the computer, they would be able to grab out everything through it, even though the computer was not there. What if they don't have anything else connected into it, like everybody has today, the Google Wallet and everything? How would they actually go in and grab it if only the computer has the access and no permissions are given?
So basically you mean that somebody set up no recovery, has no access to any sort of like signer or passkey that they had to their smart account, and on top of that, they didn't actually save any sort of information from their laptop.
Like my grandfather.
Ooh, well. For that, of course, there are some centralized solutions that we don't like to talk about. Obviously, there is a solution because actually all smart accounts are deployed by a factory, right, that actually can do a, admin level access, but not to funds, only to the recovery module.
Well, that's still nice because today, if you lose the seed phrase, you lose your whole wallet. That's it, one time. So we just had a question come in. Can you sign a transaction to send tokens with Google accounts by using Sophon?
Yes, of course you can. So if you're actually deploying a smart account for yourself, that can have a Google account, an Apple account, X, basically anything, Telegram included, all social accounts are included there as a signer, because at the end of it, what's happening there, it's just OAuth, right? There is a private key generated at the back of OAuth, and that private key is signing the transaction itself. Now, the magic that we just need to do is propagate that signature to the smart account itself. So this is not new technology. It's been around for years and years, right? The novelty here is that while crypto is pretty new and everybody is kind of like accustomed to have all this technical depth and complexity, users don't really like it, and retention rates show this.
I'm sorry they don't like it. It actually sounds like fun. Just like signing off your will. No. So do we have any more questions from the audience today?
What's your main target for Sophon?
Yeah, so Sophon itself, as I said, is entertainment focused, meaning that by providing the best user experience, we are targeting first any dApp and any developer, any builder that is coming from entertainment. Let it be gaming to, for example, we have a very interesting pilot that is, for example, selling on-chain tickets. Now, that is a super, super cool use case, and it's been there since, like, I don't know, probably the first idea came in 2015. Nobody actually implemented it in a way that the industry approved. Now we're seeing the first signs. And why? Because there are tools, and people actually got to the point where now we are getting there that, like, it's kind of okay. The industry accepts it. And obviously, all the standards like NFTs and so on and so forth are very, very good for that specific use case. So yeah, we are targeting for like basically anything that can use the user experience bonus that Sophon provides.
I got well, here's my question. With the EIP 7702, where you're connecting a smart contract to a smart account, to a contract, yep. Where you're connecting an EOA to a smart contract, that's one way of getting some functionality into the EOA, the address. And then the other way is like the 4337 one, which I'm a little more hazy about how that works. Yeah, so how do you use those two different technologies or protocols or whatever you want to call it in your product, or how do you see the different use cases for those?
Yeah, so the thing is that like the name of the game here is granularity, right? Now, when it comes to like your specific use case, you always need to take a look at like what is your target audience? Is your target audience really like susceptible to do financial transactions? Is the volume really, or the like amount of funds that you care about, the granularity of access, right? Now, all these standards are very well defining what those specific upgrades to those smart contract-based accounts can do. Our goal and our like job really is to use the best standard based on what the user base is. If the user base cares only about, like, I want to play a game, right, and I don't want to be interrupted by pop-ups, then obviously, like a simple smart account, 7739 based, like type signature based validation smart account is perfectly fine. Like you don't need very specific rules of what that smart account can do or what that smart account cannot do by session keys or some other stuff. Now, of course, if it's an institutional trader that needs to set very specific rules of what, for example, an employee can do from the like actual investment portfolio of that institution. Now that's another type of game, right? So yeah, at the end of the day, everything comes back to knowing your user.
Well, thank you so much, Elod. And our time is running out, and thank you for all the questions. If you have more questions for Elod, please catch him outside. But for now, give a good hand for him, and thank you.